Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Driven Dave YouTube channel. Today, you've joined me with a 2025 Hyundai Sonata. And as you can see, I'm in beautiful woods here, somewhere near, I don't even know where I am, but I'm somewhere and it's really pretty. And so today I'm going to review this car. We're going to talk about some of the, I don't want to say quirks and features, but interior features, exterior features, and then we're going to talk about the on-road driving characteristics. And finally, what do I actually think of this car? And we're going to talk about all of that in just a minute. So let's get into it. All right, first up with the 2025 Hyundai Sonata. I believe this is the SEL, which is going to be somewhat of your base model spec. I got this as a rental car. We're going to start in the trunk. It's got a nice little button here. There's also a button on the remote, as you would expect. Talking about the trunk space, as you can see, I've got a small piece of luggage here and a backpack just to kind of show you scale here. There's a lot of room. It's a very tall trunk, which is great. And this opening is pretty large. It's not huge, but it's decent, and it goes very far back, which is great. You've also got these little kind of remote pull things. That's going to help you drop the rear seats. So let's start in the rear seats. Take a look at that. Wow, behold. Very basic cloth here. This almost has like a denim feel to it, although it's definitely not. And then here you've got kind of a vinyl treatment here. Semi-hard plastics, but a little bit of soft give. Metal looking handles, although it's plastic. Kind of standard Hyundai Kia, looks fancy. 2 USB-Cs on deck, which is nice. And really not a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. A couple of cup holders here. Very nice for your rear passengers. The seat folds down, as you can see, giving you a pass-through, although you lose some space here. But I wonder if you could fit an air mattress for some car camping. That'd be kind of cool. Before we get into the front of the car, let's just kind of walk around it, talk about some of the styling features. Some of this Hyundai H treatment you can kind of see in the grid pattern that they've done on the Ioniq 5 and the Santa Fe. Some of that design language carries over to the Sonata here. You've got these cool little shark fins, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if that's a parking sensor. I'm not sure, actually. I don't want to misspeak about that. Let's talk wheels and tires. We've got some Kumhos on deck. These are good tires. 215/55 R17. So not going to cost you too much to replace those, which is nice. Cool little kind of side skirts here, giving the car a lower appearance. It's a very good looking car. I'm sure you've seen these on the road and gone, hey, that looks really fancy. It's got this really neat kind of unibrow Geordie LaForge light bar up here, and the headlights just tucked below that, almost hidden. And here you've got your driver assistance sensors. Good looking car. It really is. Good headlights as well. I wish I had footage of that, but it's pretty decent. Let's go into the car and take a look. All right, sitting into the cockpit here, and I apologize, there's some junk in here, but whatever, we're gonna play through. Surprising to see this kind of blank steering wheel. I kind of expected an H or a Hyundai or some sort of logo there, but nothing going on. Let's turn on the engine. We'll talk more about the engine in a minute. But you've got this digital gauge cluster. You've got your tach and your speedometer, which is very nice. And your standard Hyundai Kia controls here, which we're going to turn that off, which is nice. Now, previously, my personal experience, I owned a 2018 Kia Optima, so very similar interface on that car. This does have the lane centering, which works pretty well. And of course the adaptive cruise and all of that. And then of course you've got your steering wheel controls for the audio, volume up and down. And this is a nice metal feeling button, although I think it is plastic, but the texture and you can kind of hear that. That's a nice, very satisfying feel there. I haven't tried the voice commands. I assume you can switch between modes. Oh, interesting. And I guess it lets you kind of preset all of that, which is great. It's really nice. Down here, you've got, you can switch between just power or power and data for your USB-C, and then another power point here. And then I guess somewhere, oh, there it is. You've got a standard, there it is. Standard 12 volt cigarette lighter style thing. Dual zone climate control, heated seats. This is all, I guess you would call this capacitive touch or just touch. And I wish there were actual buttons, but this does work quite well. It doesn't bother me too much. It is nice to have an actual volume knob for the infotainment. And you've got some of the kind of presets here in actual physical buttons, which is great. Flashers here. Earlier, I took some B-roll. I showed kind of like the vehicle diagnostic mode. That's kind of cool. It tells you how everything's working. Moving to the center console, I'll move some of this stuff here. You've got your drive mode selector. I've just been putting this unit in sport, Rubbins racing. You got auto hold, which is a great feature. My only complaint about that is you really kind of have to mash the brake pedal to get that to set. Now, one thing that I noticed, this car only has 13,000 miles, just under 14, and this button is already broken. So, I don't know what happened. It's a rental car. I didn't break it for sure, but this activates your cameras. I'm not going to press it because I don't want the camera to get stuck on. That is annoying. 2 cup holders here. They've got this kind of springy thing here, and I've got a water bottle here just for scale. And here's a center console with really nothing going on in it, but plenty of room. Let's see, that bottle fits. So yeah, you could stack these up. You could probably go 2 or 3 high on either side. Pretty good. There's also a little phone storage here, or wallet, or whatever you want to do. Ooh, the heated seat is kicking in, and that feels very nice because it is 52 degrees outside. It feels great. No complaints. Moving up top here, you've got your, of course, map lights, dome light control. Oh, that controls the door lights. What else we got here? Of course, the very basic rear view mirror. Oh yeah, it's not auto dimming. And then here you've got your, hi mom, got all of that. And then up here, you actually have to turn the light on if you want to use the, yeah, that's going to stay on no matter what. What else can I show you in here, friends? Oh yeah, little grab handle there. And listen to that. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a very satisfying feeling. I'm glad that Hyundai and Kia are still working at that. This steering wheel, by the way, it's got kind of almost a flat bottom, and it's got these nice kind of sport, it's too early, I can't think, but you know what I mean. It's got these things. So it feels nice in the hands, but it is hard plastic. I'm sure the higher trimmed options have leather wrap. So next we're going to do the on-road driving, and I will see you there. So I wanted to talk about a couple of features before we get into the driving portion. First is, here's your parking brake control. You pull it to set it and push it to release it. It works fine. I just don't know why it's there, because like when you're sitting in the driver's seat, as you can see from my vantage point, that button doesn't exist. So you have to kind of like bend down and find it. So I think that's a terrible spot. On my Kia Optima, it was like right here, and I thought that was really nice. Also, you've got your trunk release there. That's fine. That doesn't need to be in a easy to find place. Traction control off right here, and you can control the illumination brightness, and it's got a nice little illumination guide there. Now, the thing I hate the most about this car is probably this. I just think this is really stupid. It looks like it should be a movable stock, kind of like cars used to be, but instead, you You do that forward to drive, neutral, reverse, brings up the nice camera, of course, and the camera is very good. It's got that sliding or movable guide, which is great. And then press here for park. I just think it's a large unit. It doesn't need to be this big. If your seat is forward, your knee may hit it, and it's I just think it's really awkward, really terrible. I hate this. So, you know, that may be a hot take. You may love it. I just think it should be up higher and it should be smaller. There's no reason this needs to occupy such a huge space, and it just gets in the way and it looks bad and it's not very intuitive. So not a fan of that. Let me know what you think of that gear selector. All right, here we go. Full power. All right, here we are. We're doing the on-road portion of the review now. We're going to talk a little bit about the road manners of this car and some of the features that are kind of active during the drive here. And I'm joined with my buddies. I got Max and I got Mike. So we are definitely doing kind of the family sedan thing here, just to kind of show you, what it's like to use one of these cars to haul people around. Maybe you're going to do Uber or Lyft or something like that, some rideshare. Or maybe as a family car. So let's talk about the highway road manners. First off, pretty compliant ride. It handles the bumps really quite well. Something I've been really impressed with this platform. It feels very similar to my 2018 Optima. Like when I had it, it drove very similar to this. Driver's seat offers a good amount of cushion and comfort. It's supportive yet firm and yet comfortable all at the same time. So that's nice. I think in leather it might be a little bit more comfortable, but no complaints. Tall driver, plenty of leg room. Right now I do have a lot of the automated digital assistance. It's too early. The ADAS, whatever you call it. All the driver assistance features are on. So as you can see, I'm not really doing much with the steering wheel, and the car is basically steering for us, and that's nice. As you can see, we're up in the mountains here, very twisty road. I've got it in sport mode because, like I said, you might as well have it going. And as you can see, the car is handling this sweeping right-hand turn. I just have to keep my hand on the wheel, and that is very nice. Also, adaptive cruise doing its thing. The power band in this car, not very impressive, if I'm honest. We're gonna stomp on it from 75 and just kind of see what it does. So it makes a noise, and then it does what it does, and whatever, that's okay. It's just a 2.5 liter. You're gonna have 191 buff horses under the hood. I don't know how much torque, probably not much. Although it will chirp the tires. We did do a small burnout unintentionally, and that was quite fun. I may try and do a bigger one before we return it. But like I said, 191 buff horses, 2.5 liter. You can also get this in a 2-liter hybrid. That's going to give you 192 buff horses and much better gas mileage. So this one, I think it's been averaging, as you can see, 22.5. I've been letting the car idle. I've been full throttle. I just don't care. But, I'm sure you could probably muster 26, 27, 28, maybe 30 out of it. I'm not sure. But under the hood, lots of plastic. I'm sure I've probably included that footage as well, but just kind of standard fare Hyundai Kia plastic. And but yeah, steering feels relatively tight but very vague. When you're doing the corners, the suspension just kind of, I wouldn't say it's unpredictable, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of feeling. It's just kind of compliant over the bumps, and it will turn. It's just not particularly fun. My feeling when I had my Optima, and I think I put like 65,000 miles on that in a fairly short amount of time. maybe 75, can't remember. It was a very easy car to drive. It was a very easy car to deal with. You know, you get in, and the reason why I keep talking about the Optima is the Sonata and the Optima, or now the K5, is the same platform. So it's the same car with a different badge on it and just different body panels, but same exact layout, you know, very similar drivetrain, all of that. But, you know, it was a very easy car to live with. The comfort was really pretty good. Legroom was really good. And you could just drive it around and it was fine. But it wasn't particularly memorable. It wasn't particularly fun. So if you're an enthusiast, you know, this, I probably wouldn't get one of these. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in my conclusion. Getting back to the on-road feeling, brakes are very good. They're pretty grabby, almost a little too much at times, but it's like they're grabby and spongy all at once. But they get the job done. I mean, this is just an car, basically. So, you know, what do you want? Again, these controls, very intuitive. I like the dual zone climate control. That works really, really well. One kind of gripe that I have is, you know, for such a smooth car, and it is very smooth on the freeway. I mean, this thing will just eat up highway miles, and it's really good for that. But as you can hear, there's a lot of road noise, there's a lot of wind noise, and I think, you know, a car this size would be much better if they put a little bit more time into some sound deadening and insulation into the door panels, and also maybe some thicker windows, and maybe some more deadening, you know, behind the fenders and all of that stuff. It's just, you just kind of hear everything. And my hypothesis is that as the tires age, you're going to get a lot more road noise. It's just going to become really kind of annoying to be in this car. And that's, you know, I guess you could throw in some earplugs, and that would be one way to deal with the noise. But what I noticed when I had my Optima, same kind of thing. The engine was buzzy and loud. The tires were noisy. The wind was noisy. So if you're looking for a luxury car, this ain't it, friends. All right, so those are some of my thoughts about driving it. One thing I forgot to mention was just the engine. We talked a little bit about it. Not a lot of power. It's enough. If you don't care about going fast, it's totally fine. But, you know, again. So, objectively, here's what I think about this car. If you compare it with, like, say, the outgoing Nissan Altima, which is in every rental fleet. I think the rental fleets have kept that car on the road for years. Compared to an Altima, this car is absolutely incredible. If you're going to talk about this car for $25,000, $26,000, absolutely incredible. You get all these features, decent infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, decent stereo, steers itself, you know, adaptive cruise, enough power, enough brakes, enough comfort. I mean, it is a home run at that price for a brand new car, under $30,000. Very impressive. Now, again, the misses for me would have to be the noise. I mean, it's really kind of unbearable how loud this car is. So, I mean, that's my take. You'll have to draw your own conclusions on that. Subjectively, just my personal impression of this car, I really wish it had more power, really wish it were quieter, but I do like the styling and I like the features. Like, I think it's a great overall value. It's just like, you kind of have to be honest about like where you're going to compare this car and, you know, what you're going to stack it up against. But, you know, Hyundai has an amazing warranty. I'm sure your local dealership will be able to deny most of your claims. That was my experience. But on paper, really good warranty, really good features, you know, really good comfort. So I think there are a lot of things about this car that, you know, are really kind of a home run that other car makers don't really do. And, you know, they continue to innovate and really give you a good bang for your buck. So, you know, my overall is that this car is fine. So if you're looking for a car that's fine, you have found it. And I was telling the guys last night, I think this is a good car for people that don't like cars. You know, if you just want a car to get in and drive, this is and car. You're good. You know, this is the wallpaper of cars. You know, if you're an enthusiast, this is probably not the car for you. But you know, you get one of these in, I think it's the limited trim, you know, and it's probably a pretty nice place to be if you can handle the noise. So anyway, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it. If you could help the channel out, hit that subscribe button. Also, take a look at my affiliate links in the description. If you're new here, I do a lot of Tesla content, so I do have a lot of Tesla products for sale. And I also have a Tesla referral link. So if you or one of your friends are thinking about test driving one or whatever, click that link. It would help me out, and you know, you'll save some money too. And yeah, and also all the other affiliate links, I will have some discount codes and stuff to save you some money on some cool stuff. And so yeah, that's gonna do it for us today, friends. Thank you to Max and Mike for being part of the video. Good dudes. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Until then, stay driven.